Hey there! Ready to unlock the power of story in your business? Today's deep dive takes us into the world of Donald Miller's Building a Story brand. We'll uncover why your customers' brains are wired for stories and how to tap into that primal need to create messaging that truly sings.
It's funny. We often think of stories as pure entertainment, but they're actually deeply rooted in our survival instincts.
That's a great point. It's not just about bedtime stories or Netflix binges. So how does this primal need for stories connect to the way we do business?
Well, Miller highlights the fact that our brains are constantly seeking out information that helps us survive and thrive. And stories provide that information in a way that's easily digestible and memorable. They give us a framework for understanding the world and making decisions that increase our chances of success.
So it's like our brains are bombarded with information all day long, and stories act as a sort of filter, helping us focus on what's truly important.
Exactly. And that's why stories are such a powerful tool for businesses. In a world overflowing with marketing messages, a well-crafted story can cut through the noise and create a real connection with your audience.
This is already making me rethink my whole approach to marketing. So, where do businesses go wrong? What are the common pitfalls when it comes to storytelling in business?
Miller points out two major mistakes. The first is failing to frame their offer as a survival tool. In other words, they don't clearly articulate how their product or service helps customers survive and thrive in a meaningful way.
So, it's not enough to just list features and benefits. You have to connect with those deeper human needs and desires, right?
Absolutely. Think about a company like Gerber Knives. They don't just sell knives. They sell an image of rugged individualism, self-reliance, and preparedness. Their marketing taps into our primal desire for safety and security
Mm.
by positioning their knives as essential tools for survival in any situation.
That's such a good example. It's like they're selling a peace of mind, a sense of being able to handle whatever life throws at you. Okay, so that's mistake number one. What's the other common trap businesses fall into?
The second mistake is overloading customers with information. Remember, our brains are wired to conserve energy. If a message is too complex or confusing, we'll simply tune it out to avoid mental overload.
So it's like we're asking our customers to run a marathon while solving a complex math problem. No wonder they get exhausted and give up.
Exactly. We need to make it easy for them to understand our message and see the value in what we're offering. And that's where Miller's Story Brand framework comes in. It provides a clear, step-by-step process for crafting compelling brand stories that resonate with our audience's primal need for narrative.
This is where I get really excited. Tell me everything. What are the key elements of this framework?
The framework outlines 7 key elements that every compelling story needs. The first, and arguably most important, is the character. And in the Story Brand framework, the customer is always the hero.
Okay, so we're not talking about our brand being the hero of the story.
Not at all. It's about positioning your customer as the main character, the one facing challenges and striving for a better future.
So it's about their journey, their transformation.
Huh.
Got it. What comes next?
Next, we need to define the problem. And Miller suggests breaking it down into 3 levels: external, internal, and philosophical. This creates a deeper connection with the customer's experience.
Okay, I need an example to wrap my head around this.
Let's say you're selling high-end noise-canceling headphones. The external problem is obvious: unwanted noise. But you can dig deeper. The internal problem might be the frustration and stress that noise creates, that inability to focus. And the philosophical problem, maybe it's the feeling of being constantly bombarded with stimuli, a longing for peace and quiet in a chaotic world.
Wow, that's so much more compelling than just saying block out noise.
Right.
You're tapping into those deeper emotional needs and desires.
Exactly. And once you've clearly defined the problem, it's time to introduce the guide. And that's where your brand comes in.
So we're not the hero, but we're there to help the hero along the way.
Precisely. You're positioning your brand as the wise mentor, the one who's been there, done that, and has the tools and knowledge to help the customer overcome their challenges.
Like a trusted advisor,
Yeah.
someone who can guide them through the wilderness.
Exactly.
Mm.
And every good guide needs a plan right. That's the 4th element of the Story Brand framework. You need to provide a clear, actionable plan that makes it easy for the customer to do business with you and reduces their perceived risk.
So break down these plans for me. What kind of plans are we talking about?
Miller outlines 2 main types: process plans and agreement plans. A process plan outlines the steps a customer takes to either buy your product or use it effectively. Think of it like a roadmap to success.
So if you were selling a meal kit service, Your process plan might be choose your recipes, get fresh ingredients delivered, cook delicious meals in under 30 minutes.
Exactly. You're making it super clear and simple for the customer to understand what's involved. The second type of plan is an agreement plan. It's more about building trust and addressing any concerns or fears a customer might have. It could be a satisfaction guarantee, a return policy, or even a set of core values that you and your customers share.
It's about creating a sense of security and alignment.
Precisely. You're showing customers that you understand their concerns and are committed to their success. So we've got the character, the problem, the guide, and the plan. What's next in this storytelling adventure?
I'm on the edge of my seat. Spill it.
Now it's time for the call to action. This is where you clearly and directly tell the customer what you want them to do. Don't be shy.
So no more beating around the bush with vague suggestions. We need to be specific and tell them exactly what action to take.
Absolutely. Whether it's buy now, schedule a consultation, or download our free guide, make it crystal clear what you want them to do next.
Okay, so we're laying out the path to success. But what about the potential pitfalls? Do we address those too?
That brings us to the sixth element, failure. Miller argues that it's essential to paint a vivid picture of what happens if the customer doesn't choose your solution.
Isn't that a bit negative? Don't we want to focus on the positive outcomes?
It's not about being negative, it's about being realistic. By highlighting the potential consequences of inaction, you're actually making the benefits of your solution even more compelling. Think of those mayhem commercials from Allstate Insurance.
Okay, I see your point. They're humorous, but they effectively illustrate the potential chaos that can ensue without proper insurance.
Exactly. And by showing the potential downside, you're making the upside the solution you offer even more desirable. All right, ready for the final element of the story brand framework.
Hit me with it. I need to know how the story ends.
The seventh and final element is success. This is where you paint a vivid picture of what the customer's life will look like once they've achieved their desired outcome using your product or service.
So we're showing them the happily ever after, the transformation they've been seeking.
Precisely. Don't just tell them about the features and benefits of your product. Show them how their life will be transformed. If we go back to our noise-canceling headphones example, you wouldn't just say block out distractions. You'd paint a picture of the customer enjoying newfound focus, productivity, and peace of mind. Maybe they're finally able to finish that important project, enjoy a quiet moment of reflection, or simply get a good night's sleep.
This is all making so much sense. I'm starting to see how powerful this framework can be.
It's a game changer, and we've only just scratched the surface. There's so much more to explore in terms of crafting compelling messaging, optimizing your website, and even applying these principles to your personal life.
Okay, I'm hooked. We'll have to continue this conversation in part 2.
Welcome back. It's amazing how a shift in thinking about your customer as the hero can completely transform your approach to business.
It really is. I feel like I'm seeing my entire brand with fresh eyes. We left off talking about the 7 key elements of the story brand framework, and I'm curious to see how they all come together in practice. Specifically, Miller talks about the power of one-liners. Can you elaborate on that a bit?
Absolutely. A one-liner is like a magic spell that captures the essence of your brand and your customer's journey in a single, compelling sentence. It's more than just a tagline. It's a mini narrative that clearly identifies the hero, their problem, the plan you offer, and the success they'll achieve.
Okay, so it's like a super condensed version of their entire heroic journey. Do you have any real-world examples of how this works?
Definitely. Imagine a financial advisor who specializes in helping young families plan for their future. The one-liner might be something like, "We help overwhelmed parents worried about their financial future create a customized financial plan so they can achieve their dreams and build a secure future for their children."
Wow, that's actually really powerful. It's concise, relatable, and it paints a clear picture of the transformation they're offering.
Exactly. And by crafting a strong one-liner, you're creating a blueprint for all your messaging, from your website copy to your social media posts to your sales pitches.
This is making me rethink my whole approach to marketing. I'm already itching to start working on my own one-liner.
That's the spirit. Now, beyond crafting a compelling brand story, Miller also outlines some simple yet incredibly effective marketing efforts that can really accelerate your growth. And the best part? They're practically free.
Free marketing. You've got my attention. Tell me more.
He starts with your website, emphasizing that it should be a clear and compelling expression of your story brand script. After all, your website is often the first impression you make on potential customers.
Makes perfect sense. But what are some common mistakes businesses make when it comes to their websites?
One of the biggest pitfalls is failing to clearly communicate what they offer and why anyone should care. Miller shares a funny anecdote about his wife trying to figure out a meal kit delivery service. She received a free box, but couldn't for the life of her understand what made this service unique. Their website was beautifully designed, but it focused more on the founder's story and less on the customer's transformation.
So they were missing that crucial element of connecting with the customer's needs and desires.
Exactly. They were burying the lead, so to speak. It wasn't until she dug deeper that she discovered the real value proposition, the ability to become a confident cook with the help of fun, expert-designed recipes.
Ah, so they were hiding the success element of the store, the transformation the customer would experience.
Precisely. And that's a common mistake. Miller stresses the importance of having a clear, concise headline above the fold that immediately tells visitors what you offer and how it will benefit them.
So no more making them hunt for that information. We need to make it crystal clear right from the start.
Exactly. Don't make them work for it. And in addition to that clear headline, Miller emphasizes the importance of having obvious calls to action sprinkled throughout your website.
Right, we talked about that earlier. Don't be afraid to tell people exactly what you want them to do.
Exactly. Whether it's buy now, schedule a consultation, or download our free guide, make it clear and easy for visitors to take the next step in their journey. You're guiding them towards their desired outcome.
It's all about providing those clear signposts along the way. What other website tips does Miller offer?
He also highlights the importance of using images strategically. Specifically, he recommends featuring images of success. Show, don't just tell.
So instead of generic stock photos, we should use images that actually showcase the positive impact of our brand.
Exactly. If you're selling fitness equipment, show real people achieving their fitness goals. If you're selling travel packages, show people having amazing experiences in exotic locations. Images evoke powerful emotions, so use them to reinforce the positive transformation your brand offers.
This is great advice. I'm already making a mental list of all the changes I need to make to my website.
It's amazing what a few simple tweaks can do. Now, beyond website optimization, Miller also advocates for the power of lead generation.
Ah, yes, the art of enticing potential customers to give you their contact information.
Precisely. The idea is to offer something valuable in exchange for the opportunity to build a relationship. This could be a PDF guide, a webinar, a free consultation, a quiz, anything that your ideal customer would find irresistible.
So it's like offering a little taste of the success they can achieve by engaging with your brand.
Exactly. You're giving them a sneak peek behind the curtain, showing them the value you bring to the table. And once you've hooked them with that irresistible offer, you can collect their email address and start nurturing that relationship.
Right. Build that all-important email list.
You got it. Your email list is one of your most valuable assets because it allows you to communicate directly with your audience, build trust, and ultimately guide them towards a purchase.
Okay, so we've got a beautifully optimized website, a compelling lead magnet, and a growing email list. What's the next step in this marketing adventure?
Now it's time to unleash the power of email marketing. Miller emphasizes the importance of creating an automated email sequence that nurtures those leads and gently guides them towards a purchase.
Ah, the magic of automation. So even while we're sleeping, our emails are out there working their magic.
Exactly. By setting up a series of pre-written emails, you can stay top of mind with your audience and provide value on a consistent basis.
Are there any specific types of email campaigns Miller recommends?
He suggests starting with a nurturing campaign focused on providing value, building trust, and positioning yourself as the guide in your customer's story.
So not necessarily hard selling right off the bat, but more about educating and engaging your audience.
Precisely. A typical nurturing campaign might involve sending one email per week with a mix of valuable content, helpful tips, and subtle calls to action.
So for example, if you're a personal trainer, you might send out weekly emails with workout tips, healthy recipes, and motivational stories.
Exactly. And within those emails, you might include subtle calls to action, like inviting them to book a free consultation or download your free guide to achieving their fitness goals. You're building that know-like trust factor, which makes them much more receptive to your offers down the line.
It's like you're planting seeds that will eventually blossom into loyal customers. I love that analogy.
It's all about playing the long game. Now, once you've nurtured those leads for a few weeks, you can start incorporating sales emails into your sequence.
So emails that are more direct about promoting your products or services.
Exactly. These emails might highlight a special promotion, a limited time offer, or simply remind them of the core value proposition of your brand. You're inviting them to take that next step in their journey and experience the transformation you're offering.
Okay, so it's all about finding the right balance between providing value and making a sale.
Precisely. And by automating this process through your email marketing platform, you can systematize your marketing efforts and ensure you're consistently connecting with your audience, even while you're focusing on other aspects of your business.
This is incredibly insightful. I'm starting to see how all these pieces fit together to create a cohesive marketing strategy.
It's like building a beautiful mosaic, one piece at a time. Now, are you ready for the fifth and final, almost free marketing effort?
Lay it on me. I'm eager to hear what other gems Miller has in store.
This one is all about harnessing the power of word-of-mouth marketing. In other words, creating a system that generates referrals.
Referrals, the holy grail of marketing.
You said it. Referrals are pure gold because they come with built-in trust. When someone you know and trust recommends a product or service, you're much more likely to check it out than if you just saw an ad online.
Absolutely. So how do we encourage more of this word-of-mouth magic?
Miller suggests a few different approaches. The simplest is to just ask. You can include a call to action in your email signature, on your website, or even in your product packaging.
Sometimes the simplest approach is the best. What are some other ways to encourage referrals?
Another strategy is to offer rewards. This could be a discount on their next purchase, a free gift, or even a charitable donation in their name.
So you're creating a win-win situation for both the referrer and the new customer.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if you want to take it to the next level, you can create a more formalized referral program, perhaps offering a commission or points for every successful referral.
So you're turning your happy customers into brand ambassadors.
Precisely. And by automating this process through your email marketing platform or a dedicated referral software, you can create a truly scalable referral system that generates a steady stream of new customers.
This has been an incredible deep dive into the world of StoryBrand. I'm already feeling more confident and strategic about my marketing efforts.
It's amazing how a few simple principles can have such a profound impact.
Any final thoughts on this section before we move on to explore how StoryBrand can impact our personal lives?
I think one of the biggest takeaways from this section is the importance of simplicity and clarity. Don't overcomplicate your message or your marketing efforts. Focus on your customer's story. Make it easy for them to understand your value proposition and guide them seamlessly towards their desired outcome.
I love that. It's about removing friction and creating a truly delightful experience for your customers.
Exactly. When you do that effectively, growth becomes much more effortless.
This is all so inspiring. I can't wait to explore how these principles can be applied to our personal lives in part 3. Welcome back. We've spent the last 2 parts unpacking how to make our businesses more appealing through the power of story. But what about using StoryBrand to improve our personal lives? Is that even possible?
Absolutely. It's fascinating how these principles can be applied to any area of life where you're trying to connect with others and achieve a desired outcome. Because let's face it, we're all telling stories all the time, whether we realize it or not. We tell stories about ourselves, our relationships, our hopes and dreams.
That's so true. We're constantly shaping narratives in our heads and sharing them with the world. So how can understanding the StoryBrand framework make us better storytellers in our personal lives?
Well, think about the concept of the hero and the guide. In a healthy relationship, both partners should feel like the hero of their own story, right?
Yes. It's not about one person rescuing the other. Both individuals have their own journey, their own aspirations.
Exactly. So instead of falling into those stereotypical roles, we can approach relationships with the understanding that both partners are heroes. And that means being a source of empathy, encouragement, and guidance for each other.
So instead of trying to fix each other's problems, we can be supportive guides, helping each other navigate challenges and achieve our goals.
Precisely. It's about being a true partner, not a savior. And just like in brand storytelling, creating a story gap can be incredibly powerful in relationships.
Okay, remind me about that story gap concept. How does that apply to our personal lives?
Remember, it's about creating a gap between where someone is now and where they want to be. That gap creates tension and motivates them to move forward. In a relationship, this could be a shared goal, a dream you're working towards together, or simply a commitment to personal growth and adventure.
So instead of just settling into routines, we can create a sense of shared purpose and excitement, something that keeps us moving forward together.
Exactly. It's about having a shared story that you're writing together, And don't forget about the call to action. Just like in marketing, it's essential to communicate clearly and directly in our personal lives.
So no more hinting around or hoping our partner will magically understand what we need.
No more passive aggressiveness, whether it's expressing our feelings, asking for support, or simply planning a date night. Clear communication is key. The StoryBrand framework can empower us to be more assertive and articulate in our relationships.
That's so empowering. I can see how that would lead to healthier and more fulfilling relationships. Now, one concept that feels a bit trickier to apply to relationships is the idea of failure. We don't necessarily want to dwell on negative outcomes in our personal lives.
That's true. But Miller suggests that addressing potential challenges and vulnerabilities can actually strengthen relationships. Think about it. By being open and honest about our fears and insecurities, we create a space for deeper intimacy and understanding.
So it's not about pretending everything is perfect. It's about acknowledging the challenges and working through them together.
Exactly. We can be each other's safe space, a place where we can be vulnerable and authentic without judgment. And finally, let's not forget about success. This element is all about envisioning a future where our relationships are thriving and we're both achieving our individual and shared goals.
So instead of just reacting to life's challenges, we're proactively creating a vision for the future we want to build together.
Exactly. By regularly communicating that vision and taking steps towards it, we're building a stronger foundation for our relationship.
Wow, this has been incredibly eye-opening. I'm starting to see how StoryBrand is so much more than just a marketing framework. It's a powerful tool for creating more meaningful connections and living a more intentional life.
I couldn't agree more. It's about becoming better storytellers in every aspect of our lives.
This deep dive has been truly transformative. Any final thoughts for our listeners before we wrap up?
I would encourage everyone to explore the StoryBrand framework and see how it resonates with you. Don't be afraid to experiment and see how it can enhance your communication, your relationships, and your overall experience of life.
That's such great advice. We've only scratched the surface of StoryBrand in this deep dive, but hopefully it sparked a curiosity to learn more. Who knew the power of story could be so transformative, both personally and professionally?
We're all storytellers at heart. By understanding the elements of a great story, we can all become more effective communicators and create a more meaningful impact on the world.
That's a beautiful thought to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of StoryBrand. We'll be back soon with another fascinating exploration of ideas that matter. Until then, keep learning, keep growing, and keep telling your story.